Hello again, welcome to my channel. Today's task is to look at fitting the fly screens on the hatch. Now originally these fly screens, I'll grab this one here for example, sit as such. Okay, so they pretty much sit outside of the framing in this manner. And of course, dropping that, the larger one does as well. Sits pretty much in that manner. See if I can do this one as well and not drop it. Kind of like in that fashion there. Now, because I'm over 6 foot, unlike the Millard, which my previous caravan, which was a straight roof, I've got less headroom here, and whilst it's okay in this living area here where the kitchen is and the bunks and so on, I don't want to start reducing the headroom height any further. Plus, I don't like the look of the fly screen just sitting above there. It just makes it look untidy. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling these apart, and I'm going to shorten them down so that they actually in fact sit inside the frame, flush more or less with the base of the ceiling here. And for the back I'm going to have to do two. I'm going to have to run one across this frame here and then another one across that frame there. I've got a couple of options. I can go and buy new meshing and pretty much all the gear that I need to make the fly screen. So you know, the frame, this meshing may be able to be reused, at least for this part anyway. Or I can cannibalise the originals. That you're probably going to ask yourself is, if I'm making, not so much this one up here because that remains just 4 corners or 4 edges, but for this one here, because I'm going to be cutting it in half, I actually need 2 more strips along that side, right? Because at the moment it's just one big square and I'll need to make 2 squares, hence 2 more side strips. This is the unit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cannibalise again another screen. Now these 2 here belong to the 2 side windows, and personally I can't stand fly screens. I think that having a fly screen, I'll give you an example, put that here, to me it ruins the view, so to speak. It doesn't give it a nice clean crisp view of the outside. Being Tassie weather as well, we don't get stinking hot summers and lots of mozzies and so on, so it's not an issue generally. So they're going to be the donor parts. Alright, so we've got all our measurements. I think we've got all our tools, so now it's a matter of pulling this apart. Now of course one of the things I'll be doing here is cleaning all that up. Probably get some wet and dry. That. It's quite interesting this, because it's actually using an aluminium piece, which I'm going to have to replace with proper rubber. See what I mean? It's just a old school ship. pretty much it. Right, so now we have to measure that, because this measurement is on the outside. Now, okay, so we've just cut that piece off. Now, really clean. We can now put this one back. And let's give you a bit more. So these are the angle brackets that actually go in there and keep it all together and in a nice right angle way. So now I'll just hammer that in there now. So now that I've cut it to size, and you saw how easy that was really, let's just quickly try and see whether or not I can position it without dropping it. So, in there. Oops. Just make it pretty hard with one hand, I've got to say. And pretty much there you go. Okay. Obviously it will sit nice and flush there, as it does on this corner here. What I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to modify the two of these ones. Now these two, as I said, belong to the front windows of the caravan, just where the dinette is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut these to size twice. So effectively repeat the same process as I did over here. So pull it apart, cut, and then use those two instead of the bigger one. So what I'll do is I won't bore you to tears with me doing the process again, and I'll show you the once I've finished cutting them to basically put up there and demo it. Right, so the other two pieces are now cut. It literally only took about 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. So, and I've already positioned them and I know that they fit fine. So now I've got the three pieces. I will clean them up. And after that I'll put the fly screen on. Right, so I've got all the pieces cleaned up. It's not cleaned up to the point where they look brand new, but I kind of like the idea that it retains its kind of history, if you know what I mean, by having imperfections there. Right, so it's not perfect, but I kind of like it. So now the next thing to do is to put the mesh, the fly screen itself. These ones are in good nick. So the way to do this is to, excuse me, is to position it and then using, in this particular case I've got this fairly thick rubber cord. I'm not sure what the name of it is now, I forgot. And what I'll do is I'll just position it in one end, and I'll work my way to this end. When I'm positioning here and there, obviously I've got to try to keep it taut, and it's the same with doing it that way. So, you know, it's one of those things where you just got to go slowly. So I'll just start doing that now. Now you can use special tools to put that in, like a roller and so on, but I just go in a little bit at a time and just hammer it in. Idea is not to stretch the cable. So on this side here, what I'll do is I'll just make sure that it all kind of sits nice and taut, and I'll do, say, this middle section first. Tie that in there. I'll grab the end section here, and put a couple like that. You see, to maintain that tautness there, and then I'll just cut that. And then I'll put the end bit here. So I've got that in there now, and it's nice and taut. So the next thing to do now is to cut the excess off. And all I do is just grab a blade, and then you just run the blade across. I don't run it down, I run it across this way to try to give it as much meat as possible. Okay. So now I've got all the pieces. I'm going to try to put the front one in first. So what I've done is I've bought these little hinges so that it's hinged on the back, because don't forget I've got to actually have this drop so I can reach this. So I'll try to see if I can screw those onto the back and then use these as the catches for the front. Right, so I've tried to keep it simple. So what I've done is I've used these to hold these pieces in. Okay, as you can see here and here. And what I've done on this one here is I've added these on either end and a couple of these hooks there, so I can do this, that, bring it down and gain access to the hatch mechanism. So that's all. I'm actually a lot happier with this, doing it this way, for the obvious reasons. As I said beforehand, I'm not getting the I'm not having less room or headroom by having the fly screens on the bottom. I think it actually looks a lot better as well. But of course the unfortunate side effect with this, I'll drop another one again, seems like I'm dropping these things, is that you can see comparison between the fly mesh and without, is that I kind of don't get to see the lovely timber work. So, you know, it's one of those things, a give and take. The only downside to this style is that, of course, there's a lot more gaps where insects and so on can still get through, but, you know, realistically, you're going to have that anyway. God, you're out camping, you're out in the elements. So there you have it. That's my take on how to do this and how to modify fly screens if you wanted to do that, and, you know, keep it simple like I have, and still does the job. Alright, hope this has been of use to you, and always happy to receive comments and feedback, so do so in the comments, and as always, thanks very much for watching.